All right, guys. We were talking about methods of charging a body. Now, the two major methods of charging a body is charging by friction and charging by electrostatic induction. Charging by friction and charging by induction. All right. So now, the first method is charging by friction. Charging by friction is just very easy. It just requires you bringing a body, another body, and then you rubbing them against each other, just like this body. I'm rubbing it, rubbing it, rubbing it, rubbing it, and some surface electrons in the other body will be loosed to the other body. Thereby, the other body that gained electron becomes negatively charged. The other body that didn't lose electron will become the other body that didn't lose electron will become negatively charged. The one that lost the electron becomes positively charged, and that's what is going to happen. All right, so that's a way of charging a body. So the three major four major charging by friction you need to know as a student, which occur in past questions. Of course, I'll show you how they come out. Are charging of polyethylene and woolly material. Now, when you bring polyethylene and woolly material together, you rub them together, you find out that polyethylene, which is polyethylene, if you are very good in your organic chemistry, polyethylene is a polymerized ethene. All right, polymerized ethene. So it's a polymer of what? Ethene. Why ethene is the monomer. All right, so polyethylene is like nylon. A good example of polyethylene product is nylon. So when you rub these two guys together, and a woolly material is more like cotton. All right, you rub these two guys together, you find out that one become negative and the other becomes what? Positive. Now between these two, which becomes negative? This guy has some surface electrons that are loosed. So this guy donate electrons to this guy, okay, lose electron to this guy, and this guy at the end of the day becomes negative. So it is actually this polyethylene that becomes negatively charged, and then the woolly material itself becomes what? Positively charged. Does that make sense? Yes. The same thing happens here. This guy, in this case, with these two guys, once this guy cellulose acetate is rubbed against a woolly material, the reverse happens, which is cotton. Now, when a cellulose material is rubbed against a woolly material, the cellulose material itself becomes positively charged, the woolly material, cotton, becomes negative charge. So we have a next negative charge. That's for this cellulose material. This becomes negatively charged. Does that make sense? Yes. When you rub an ebonite rod, that's a plastic rod. When you hear ebonite rod, it means a plastic rod. When you rub it against a foil, we are having a negative charge. Now, who is having the negative charge? It is the ebonite rod, while the foil becomes positively charged. The glass rod and silk, who is having the positive charge? It is the glass rod, while the silk gains what? A negatively charged. Of course, why the silk becomes negatively charged. So these are the major stuffs or the major materials you come across that are being charged using the method of charging by friction. All right, hope this makes sense. So the whole idea of charging by friction is just you bringing two different materials and you rub them against each other, and then one body loses electrons on the other body, thereby causing transfer of charges and electrons, and then you have a net charge. All right, so you already understand that for charge is a function of the number of electrons a body has. So the more the electrons, the higher the charge. Of course, also the lesser the electrons, the higher the charge. So the question now is, which is being lost? Is it positive or negative? So that's that about that. Now let's move to the second type of charging, which is charging by induction.